Hello, welcome, Sharon Van Rouwendaal. This is a privilege to have an interview and talk with you. You were recently the world champion in the Olympics in 10K, but also you were three times in the podium. You had another gold medal and silver medal, and even four times world champs. So thank you for being here, and thanks to share with you all this experience with the Oceanman community.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, obviously, the first question that I'm sure that you were answering like many, many times is that fantastic moment in in August 8th. So, how do you feel after this moment, like winning the Olympics, winning the gold in front of all these people in Paris? So, I can imagine that it was an amazing moment.
Yeah, it was amazing because it was also such a nice venue. And you hear the people screaming on the sides because they're tribune on the left side, on the right side, and one was really close to the wall we were swimming. And you could also see on the big screens, I could see myself swimming and my competitors swimming. But of course, when you touch, or I could feel I was winning or could win halfway. And then you do it, it's an incredible feeling. And it's like, oh, is it true or is it a dream? Like it feels like a dream come true, you know? But then, yeah, after that, you're so happy, also so tired. And yeah, it feels like this is the best way to end the Olympics with another goal to show that I'm like the best open water swimmer ever with three Olympic medals. So yeah, this was definitely my goal to make a name for myself as well and show people I can swim in cold water, in current water, in the sea water, like in hot water. It's not my favorite, but I can still try and be good and make medals. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, because this race you mentioned that had something special because not too many times you had the possibility to have the screen or to have so many people watching the race, right?
Yeah, it's totally different than Tokyo. Tokyo, there was nobody. And here in Paris, it was also close to the Netherlands or close to other countries, and that's why people came from the Netherlands to come and watch the race, or they came from the Netherlands to be at the evening party in the Team NL house. Or also because I lived 17 years in France, I had a lot of French people from like when I was at school with people who came and watched me, when I trained with in France who watched me. And even the commentator in France said, yeah, she's half French, so we're cheering for her. So I knew it's sort of half a little bit of my home country. And so I was like, yeah, I want to make it special and I want to win there as well. So yeah, that everything came together was great.
So we can say like it was an extra boost of motivation, like hearing people, and it was quite different. Like for example, when you compete in world aquatics, like there is like not too much spectators and you can hear people. So you felt this support.
Yeah, because in Doha, when I was two-time world champ earlier this year in February, um, there were only a little bit of tribune somewhere far away, and we weren't swimming in front of it just at the finish. And here we were passing the tribune six times on the right side, and on the other side at the back there was also a tribune, and then there was a tribune against the wall, and you saw the people, yeah, showing their flags and like almost they couldn't actually see us swim because the wall was so high, but they were like standing there with their flag, and we could see it on the big screen when I was breathing to the other side. I saw people cheering, and you could hear it, and so that was really amazing. I don't know if it's for me, but when I rewatched the race at the drinking point, I hear Sharon, Sharon. So I think a lot of French people were cheering for me.
Yeah, you could hear even like the Oceanman fans like cheering from you from
Yeah.
home. So because I was at home like jumping like crazy. So I don't know if you can these energies that they are in the air.
Yeah,
There was
but
a lot
that's
of
why you
people like
do it. Like,
supporting you.
I think when you win, it's like you think of, oh, my parents are gonna be so happy, or those people are gonna be so happy. Yeah, it's not just you win for you. You have a great feeling, but I like to make like people like the coach, the Dutch coach. He cried, and like I like to see the emotion of that I give people, and that they're so happy, and that everything fell in place. This race was great, and I knew I have like the support of all my swimmers that I'm coaching. They were there. A few were there, French swimmers, and I knew I have an American swimmer who was for me. I knew OCEANMAN family was for me. So you want to make everybody happy. So it's not just for myself. It's like I wanted to show people I'm still a good swimmer, not just coach or something.
Yeah, later we will talk about the tricks that did you use it, how was the technique and whatever. But I think like one of the most emotional moments it was when you were in the last minute, like taking the leadership, like taking the advantage, and just the first thing that you did when you arrived, it was to show your tattoo of your little dog Rio. So it was like something like connect you with a lot of people that has pets and love dogs and whatever. So how was that feeling first of all when you finish, and what kind of emotion for all that we just can see and try to understand
Um,
what happened in your head?
yeah, so I think earlier this year I felt really happy. I was two-time world champ. I thought, okay, let's go for the Olympics. I want to win again. I think I can win. I'm such in good shape. And then in April, I got the keys to my new house, and I was super happy. And then my dog needed an operation, but he really needs it. Otherwise, he couldn't breathe anymore. And there were complications after. So, and all the time I had so much stress because I said to my parents, should I come home? Because I was in Germany. Said, no, no, he was in the water this morning, everything's fine. And then in the afternoon, everything switched and he got a fever again. And then when they had an appointment at 4:30 at the vet, and then at 4:10, she called me and she said, like, you need to come home because it's not going well. And then I went with my car to the pool. I packed my swimming bag in case I would swim in the Netherlands. And then 8 minutes later, she called and she said that his heart stopped and that they're trying to reanimate him at the vet. And this was the hardest moment of my life because I had to drive to the Netherlands, but I was only crying and not thinking of swimming. And then that's still hard to talk about. But then after that, the day later it was the cremation, and I didn't want to swim anymore. And I thought if I would swim, I want something on him, like from him on me, or I need to look at him. So then I got a tattoo the day after the cremation, so 2 days after he died, um, in case I would win at the Olympics, that I would show that it's for him. But at that moment, I was never thinking I was going to win because I lost 3 kilos. I didn't care about swimming. I only went in the water 8 days, 9 days later. Then I swam one time a day and I did a race, a World Cup, where I came in fourth and was leading the last lap, and I came in fourth on 1 second. And that's where I thought, hey, maybe I should finish it. And like my father said, don't stop swimming now because Rio, you left Rio for 7.5 years to train so much and to be to do competitions in other countries and live in another country. So he said maybe you should finish it, that it's worth for something. Yeah, so then I went on a high altitude camp and I tried just to focus on swimming. But I was inside, I was hurting a lot, just for my dog, not about like if I'm swimming bad or anything. And I felt that the speed and training was still the same as before Doha, and in Doha it was extremely good. So maybe it's enough to win. Who knows? And yeah, I felt only the pressure that I put on myself the day of the race. So at breakfast, I have breakfast and then I vomit everything out. And then I think, okay, we have a problem because I never vomit before my race and I need the energy. So I tried to eat some like a gel or a banana or I think bicarbonate and caffeine to get something in, and then half an hour before the race, I vomit it out again. And then I
Oh,
take off the necklace with his ashes on it, and then I start to cry a lot because I feel the pressure I put myself in to be strong the last 10 weeks. I can feel it that I wanted to do for him, and now I'm stupid and just vomiting. And how am I going to swim 10K? So then I go into the water, and then everything's fine. I'm not stressed. I'm not even thinking that I don't vomit. I just enjoyed the race so much. And then during the race, I got drinks and gels in my bottles, and so I had some energy. But I think my high energy comes from my mental state that I have. I can be very strong mentally and get energy from that. And then during the race, I thought of him and I said, I want to win for you. So when I went out of the water and I won, um, first I'm happy because it's me and my best friend. Second, and the other girl I really like during races, the Italian is like was the dream podium. And I start walking and I know I'm gonna show the paw, but I don't know when. And then I feel again that I burst and go to my knees and then I show it. But yeah, I couldn't show it with my face up because I'm just destroyed inside. So that's the picture everybody's talking about in the interview after. But what showed me is that they think I'm such a strong swimmer, right? But a swimmer with a lot of emotion because I can take have feelings for something I really find important. So people really like that connection. That I'm such a like I love to swim in conditions that are extreme. I love when it's super hard, but then actually I'm such a small heart for my pet. And then I got like maybe 2,000 messages still in my DM on Instagram or maybe on Facebook about people sending me a picture of their dog and saying thank you, you made me cry.
yeah.
This shows a dog can be so important in somebody's life or can give you so much love. That this is my dog, and then they send a picture. So I'm trying to answer everybody, but I still now I'm working. So I will answer everybody eventually, but it takes some time. But that impact was, I think, the most important for people. They now it's like, what's the girl who won for the her dog, and my dog got like the video I made when he died. He got like 12,000 likes more. So I think, yeah, he deserves to have that fame because he was my everything. And yeah, it's still very hard, but yeah, I would have if I could trade my medal now for him, I would have traded the medals. That's how important he is to me. But I think it gives me a lot of power to think of him during the race, and I think I just another person would say, "Oh, I didn't have breakfast. It's impossible to win." And I just kept thinking it's possible to win. So I just kept believing that I can do it, and I have to do it. The only option was to do it. There was no other option, and I
Oh,
think
that's
that
amazing. That's incredible. Also, like the picture that now is everywhere, like so shows everything. So many things, like show you like you're a super woman because you are the best in the history, but also show you like you're like very very human and very connected, and also connected with a lot of people that has these feelings and this connection with their dogs or their animals. Yeah, so I think like you create emotions to everybody. So thank you. And this is an example about how to find motivation. So because I can imagine like how long is the way to arrive to Olympics. So it's 4 years. How you keep the motivation high? I'm sure that I know that you were training in Sierra Nevada in Spain in high altitude. Probably not too much people know, but you are almost alone there. It's
yeah,
like
you're alone, and I listen to this radio who makes me laugh in the morning, and I think I just focus on the swimming. And like years before you see, or like you see girls in my group or other groups cry because they're not happy with the times they're doing or stuff. But that for me wasn't not. I don't cry about swimming anymore. Like it's just I cry about something else, something you lost or something like a dear person or an animal. And now it made me show like I don't care if I swim slow. And then the next time you swim fast. And I think it's good to just drop it and accept when you're not good and accept when you're good and then just try to improve yourself every day. So I just focus on swimming every day, twice a day, and then you still focus on good swimming every day, focus on eating enough. And then you go to the Olympics. I came 4 days before my race because I know it's chaos in the Olympics. I don't like a lot of people around me. I really like if people go there in a group, I go the other way because I want to have time for myself before my race. Um, yeah, and then yeah, that's what I think the motivation. Of course, in February I was motivated to do it for people around me, my family. I want to make them proud and myself. But now I was not swimming for maybe a little bit for myself to prove that I am the best open water swimmer as well. Because people bet on me and they said like, "Oh, who's gonna win? Is it gonna be Anna Marcella? Is it gonna be Leonie Beck or is it Sharon?" And yeah, now I proved I have 3 Olympic medals. Big respect for Anna Marcella who won in Tokyo. And Leonie Beck, she won world champs, but she didn't get any Olympic medal yet. And so they both have like World Cups, they win a lot. But I use World Cups as opportunities to learn from my mistakes. And I think it's good to make mistakes. And they always say that I will also get stronger when I learn something or make mistakes. And I think with this, well, I've lost something, so it's the best year of my career wise. It's the best year of my life, but personal wise, it's like the feeling I had is maybe the worst year of my life, and I think I can get really focused on a goal if I experience something very bad, and this motivates me to say I do it for you, and I want to point at you because I am so proud or like yeah, he was my everything. So I wanted to share this feeling with people or show them I really, he made me continue to win this race. So it's just the little things I focused on the house as well. For the first 2 weeks, I didn't want to go into my new house because it was for him and me. So I didn't care about this new house. It's not fun. But then we focus on the walls are getting together, all the floors coming, and so just little things in your life where you can look forward to. I still had a pup that I got in December. Well, October, he was born in October, got it in December, and it was the intention that he would like be close with Rio and then learn from Rio. But I'm still very happy that I have the pup, so I can focus a little bit on the pup and the house and then winning for Rio.
Yeah,
And I think
I
that's
like it a lot this because we were talking during all this year many times, and for me it was a lesson. Like hear from you, like you release the pressure, and you were just happy with your life and thinking about if you win, fantastic. If not, doesn't matter because you release all this pressure. So that's a lesson for not just for the athletes that are in the top level. So what you will explain to the amateurs, because amateurs has a lot of pressure as well. So I everyone is fighting for my age group. I want to be in the 10th position, and a lot of people put too much pressure but doesn't enjoy probably the process or the race itself. But you, like you are an Olympic champion and you release it all this, and you was just focusing. I want to be happy, and when I will finish, so whatever happens is going to be okay. But giving your best, right? So, what is the advice that you can give to the amateurs?
well, I wasn't like this myself, but when I started with you guys to talk to you guys, having projects. So before it was only eating, swimming, sleeping, eating, sleeping. swimming, sleeping, and then maybe you get more pressure. I don't know. Like maybe it's like, oh, I'm so focused. I only have to swim. And now I was teaching people and coaching people and sharing my experience. And it makes me so happy because I felt so good. I could explain. So I would say to people that they have, um, well, I think it's good that I maybe focused on swimming before, and then I did swimming and coaching, and it made me very happy and relaxed, and it showed my goal. I want to win, but I know also if I don't win, I still have something to look forward to, like a new house or coaching stuff. Um, but I would say they need to enjoy what they're doing. I always tell my swimmers, like last weekend, you have people there like they want to go all out in my classes already, but I say go slow because I want to look at your technique. When we need to work on your looking up, that your mouth is not your whole head is not going out of the water. We need to do this slow, and you have people there
Hmm.
everything with so much tension. But I also learned you have to relax when you do your warm up. The only muscles that have to work are those where you have your elastic, not your legs or not your lower back. And so you have to find this, yeah, relaxation. But I think, yeah, it's more important that you're happy and you're focused in what you're doing, but sometimes it's also okay not to. And I think maybe if I was swimming all the time and I'm like, well, I have no life, I'm just swimming. And now it started to be like, well, I'm doing it for myself. If I'm still making podiums, I still like swimming. And sometimes in training, I also like it. Of course, there's maybe 70% that you don't like swimming or that you wake up and you're sore. And why am I doing it? When you're eight, like when you lose on 1/10, you don't like it, you want to stop. But then there's something that still makes you interested in the sport and you just don't give up. But yeah, it starts with believing in yourself and also being happy what you're doing, and mm, like progressing every day, but just for yourself. So being a better person or a better swimmer, but with everything, not just only swimming.
We can say like 25% of the success is happiness, right? In the training. So you need to put like 75% of training, 25% of happiness.
Yeah, and then I think for me is that I'm very strong mentally in a race or
Mm.
doing, like if people say something about me, I don't care. And yeah, it's like before the race, I also don't really look what my competitors do because I look what Sharon was doing in February, and if Sharon is the same as February, nobody can beat me. So I have to be 101% or to beat myself. But I think I also at some point lied to myself that I was so great and feeling fantastic and did great training. It helps you get the confidence you need in the race. And but that's something that comes over the years as well. And you need to be calm in an open water race. I have to be patient. I knew from some years I would beat in the front and I want to go, and then you don't go, and then people pass you, and then it's getting harder and harder. So it's all these things in open water that made this race so beautiful because it was all the aspects I've learned over the 10 years, and it came into
And then in the
practice.
just in the last race, everything came. And
Yeah,
I think like now we need to talk because about the race itself. So it was so technique, probably the most technique race that we had in the last Olympics, right?
yeah. What Tokyo was totally different. It was very warm water, but it's the most technique race ever. Let's say so because
Ever. So
yeah,
whatever your races in your life, the last one with the goal, it was the. But you told me like for you it was your favorite race, right?
yeah, because I really like that I can switch techniques. I can swim long strokes. I can swim short stroke. I can swim with legs. I can swim without legs. I can do a sprint. I can swim very slow. I can pace. And then also like last year, my coach said, "You're thinking way too much." And I said, but this is good. I need to think. I need to know where she is and where she is, because I know when she's not there, we can swim away. And so I'm thinking all the time. And this race, I always swim on my feeling. And the first lap, I said, well, let's see what they're doing. Like, I'm in the back. And then when we were against the current, I regretted it because I wanted to swim against the wall. I knew this was the less current. And I was
But
on the.
one second, Sharon, for those that they don't know how it was the race. So first of all, let's go to explain. How was the distance? Obviously, it's 10 kilometers, but it was 6 laps, about like 1 kilometer, 0.6. And how was so in the first section you have the how was the core in the second, and then people can put in their mind about like how was and what you did, because this is the most important thing to know what you did.
So yeah, the first lap, I always go in the back, or I see what they're doing. And so the day before, I train in it, and I know in the sand there's this current, huge current. So then it's the best to swim in the middle of the current so that you get pushed. But then when you turn the corner and want to go to the other side, so to the, yeah, so it's like you go straight and then you have this and then you go back and then you have this. And then when you turn the corner, there's enormous streaming and you have to switch. I switch my technique to a little bit shorter and not finishing like my triceps too much, because then it hurts and burning and I lactate. So just swim shorter against the current. And I knew against the wall, there's less current. So the first lap is not going good. I get pushed into fourth position from the wall. So I'm taking all the current in my face with people on my hip, which is harder. And I think we need to switch. We need to swim in front because it's so much easier and I know where to go. And then there's the bridge with
Mhm.
the pillar. And there I knew, I tested the day before, there's 20 meters where you can go from the wall. You can move over to the pillar. So you have to just go against the stream 2 meters, move to the pillar and do 20 meters without current. But then you have to move back again to the wall. And so I tried that the first lap. I was position 18. I switched over, did that thing, was position 4. And then I knew they don't have any idea where they're going. Some people really try to go to the gate directly against the stream, going straight into the gate. You know, there's at least 1 meter per second streaming. It's impossible to go against the stream. You have to go all the way up against the wall and then bend at the last minute to go to the gate. And you're swimming like this, like you don't move a lot, but you're just
Mm.
moving and then going into the gate. And there I got position 2 and I was like, hey, let's go. I'll do the front work because I know it's gonna break. So I did lap 2 and lap 3 in front. And lap 2 I also did the tactic at the pillar where I went to the left and went back, and that's where it broke already. Lap 3 I tried the other one, just staying against the boats and the wall. But there's extremely a lot of current when you pass a corner. There comes a lot of current from a corner. So my ideal finish would be to go against the pillar and then back. But then my friend Moesha Johnson, she took over and she saw we were going to break and she's good at pacing. So I like to follow. It saves me energy. So she did the pacing. I like project her legs that nobody's passing us also, and I'm giving sometimes like on her feet,
So
like
you
go
were
back.
trying even to cut other swimmers for not to enter in between both of you.
Yeah, sometimes like I could see Italian maybe wants to pass or not, I don't know, but I show them like no, this is my place. Second place is my place. It's harder to go from the third and win. So second place was my favorite place.
Mhm.
Yeah, then she does everything in front, but I already knew in the middle somewhere I was going to win because I was with one girl who is a super fan of me. That's the Italian, and she's also so happy she makes the medal. And the other one I live with, and I think she knows I have a sprint, and that's a disadvantage already a little bit, that she thinks, oh no, maybe Sharon is passing me. But she knows she's very good at pacing, and I know I'm very good at following and sprinting. So we both know a little bit. So the fifth lap, she did the pillar thing, and I did the inside thing, just to make her think, oh, maybe the inside is also better. But now I talked to her, and she said, oh, I didn't even notice. Like she said, I wasn't thinking clearly, because she did it once and then she went all the way into the lane with her arm, so it wasn't properly done. So if you take the pillar, it's a big risk, but you have to do it properly, and move at the good point. Otherwise, at some point you have more current. So and then the sixth lap, she stayed on the right side. I did my tactic on the left. And there you could see we were like this, or I was like a little bit in front. And then I start pacing, of course, because I lose them, like they're 5 seconds behind me. But it's also the finish is in the sand, in the big current, like the most current position you can ever have. So I'm doing my sprint in those lanes, at the finish lanes. And I think, where is the finish?
Yeah.
I'm putting my legs here, normally 20 meters, but it feels like 120. You can see it in the time. I think we do 1 minute 10 on 50 meters, which is supposed to be 30 seconds. And I'm sprinting, and then I'm losing them. And 5 seconds is quite a lot. I don't know if they let go, but yeah, I think this was the best race for me, because tactic wise, yeah, we lost everybody, and I knew they couldn't catch us because they didn't know the good current situation. So if they left, we were gone all three, but Italian only had to follow, and then there should be somebody who knows the current, and they were leading. So then good luck by catching us. If against the current you don't know where to go. But they got it real quick. They stayed against the wall all the time, and they thought this is the best way. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last meter for you, it was like a blackout. So you couldn't see anything. You saw, you put your face in your backs, like noticing if they were close or not, or you just were sprinting.
Yeah, so when Moesha's leading, I'm looking all the time, like, oh, they're far away. They're still far away. They're still one. We're still three. It's a medal. It's a medal. And then, no, when I'm in front, the last 200, I don't ask myself any questions. I just focus on the swimming, putting my legs, not making mistakes, because I stayed against the boats, and then you have to go into the finish line. Not that you pass the finish line and you go miss the corner. Yeah, and then at some point I was hurting so much, I was like, ooh, if somebody goes on my hip now, I'm dying. So I didn't know it was 5 second difference at some point. I didn't know. I touched and I was like, I turned around and like, oh, they are quite far actually. I thought she would be on my feet, but I lost them. So yeah, so that's for me was.
And then the amazing moment came.
Yeah, you can see that I really did a sort of good sprint where you make, yeah.
I think like in that moment when everybody now is in the like can put themselves in with you. So it's the moment when you need to show us the medal. So you have it there to
Yeah, right here.
a private show for all of our followers.
Oh,
And here
wait,
it is.
in the light, but maybe
Wow.
like this you can see it better. And this is the case to protect it. So
It's heavy, the medal.
I keep it in this one because
Uh-huh.
it's yeah, otherwise it gets like well, it gets broken real quick if you move it too much. Like,
Yeah.
and you can see the sides maybe. So I just keep it open for now. It's gonna be in a trophy room when my house is ready. But yeah, for now I keep it here next to Rio, and then yeah. So like
You're going to put it together with the other medals from the Olympics and
yeah,
trophies.
yeah. So the other medals are still at my parents' apartment because it's
Mhm.
just start moving, and I put important stuff at my parents' apartment, so they still have like pictures and yeah, the two Olympic medals, let's say.
So with this race, you show us something like how important is technique in open water. Sometimes people think about like open water is just who is going to win is the strongest one,
Yeah.
but it was an example about how important is to read the race, and also another thing that you explained it to us the other days, like you tested the water before, and not too many swimmers did it. What is the difference between these? So you had the
Right.
possibility to think about where.
Well, I think like I took also antibiotics on a Monday already to prevent that if the water quality was not good, I would not try, well, not get sick, or the risk to get sick is much lower. And then the day of my training, I noticed my biggest competitors weren't there, and I was like, huh, but it's so important. We train 7 hours a day, and then the day before you miss the most important training, in my opinion. I think maybe their coach thought, in their opinion, maybe they get sick. I don't know, but normally the E. coli, where you get sick of, is it takes 3 days to get sick.
Mhm.
So then me and Misha had in my opinion, an advantage, because when you've trained there and you've noticed the different currents to the gate, the different currents to the finish, the different currents around the buoy. Um, yeah, in my opinion, it made me almost not angry, but it made me think like, you didn't train yesterday and you think you will pass me on the finish line just by following me. Like, you do the work yourself and train for 1 hour 10. Like normally I train 45 minutes on a day before, and now I did 1 hour 10 because I go against the stream. I let myself go. I try again a different way, which way is faster. And I was like, wow, I don't want them to win, because they would just pass me at the end by just following the good way.
Mm.
No, so I wanted to show that training session was important, and that you should do everything to win. And in my opinion, maybe it was a mistake for them not to train, and maybe be more alert that we could swim away. I don't know. I'm always in the front at some point to check that nobody swims away. Yeah, so I think that's where we put in the work at until the end, and
Mhm.
then take a risk. We took a risk if we would get sick, but the
Yeah.
water,
You had only one time to
yeah,
test the water before the race.
normally two, but one got canceled because the water was
Yeah.
not good. And one was, and the day of the race, the water conditions were the most perfect they have been. I could even see my hand, and people said about the smelling. Like when you take the French metro, that's smelling in the water. I smelled nothing. I was dehydrated, right? I didn't have breakfast, or sort of, and I got gels, but a little bit of drink. So at lap 4, I choose to drink this water
Ah, you were drinking from the river.
from the river, because I was so dehydrated from the vomiting, and then taking probably gels in the race, getting some isoactive, but not enough with the gel. So I got so thirsty. So I drank like 2 or 3 zips of the sand, and I must say it was very refreshing.
So you didn't became green, nothing strange happened in your
Nothing.
body.
I've been at other places where it tastes like fish, or where it tastes so different, and this was fine. In my opinion, was fine, and I didn't get sick. I was just very tired. I think my stomach was still very upset from the vomiting before the race.
Yeah.
I didn't eat that day, so for 2 days I was very like not, yeah, very tired.
Yeah. So the effort for these 2 hours is like you are paying the bill for 2 days.
Oh. I think for at least a week in Doha. I did two races,
Hmm.
and then mentally your concentration is not good. You would be talking to me, and it would be take 10 seconds to say, "Huh." Well, but you just, huh? And then, but now this went pretty quick. Like on the third day, I could think clearly, could be present. But
Hmm.
normally I would be on another planet or something because I think so much in the race. And I'm thinking tactic wise and what am I going to do? And swim, relax, long strokes, short strokes, head up, which and then after you touch, you have like maybe 50 interviews you have to go through and do all
Yeah.
over the same story all over again. Then you have the podium, and then you have the press again, and then you have the party in the evening. But you're tired because you wake up at 3:30 in the morning because the race was at 7:30 in the morning. So and you didn't eat the whole day. But still, here you are in the Team NL house trying to party with the Coca Cola because that's the only thing you can drink that day. So now I knew if I would drink alcohol, I would be maybe sick for another week with the way I felt. Like, and you can't drink alcohol on a 10K. Well, I can't. Since I'm like 28, I feel like if I drink alcohol, I would get a blackout after two drinks or something.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and you have the parties as well. So, but we saw you in the party, so you were enjoying, right? Eh?
Yeah, so I did one party into 4 in the morning. But I think it was still a party without alcohol. So I just started drinking some wines when I'm at home now for dinner.
Hmm.
But there was no yet a party where I have a hangover or something. I hate that feeling, and I prefer to choose like maybe I'll do that when I have a real holiday. But now I want to have my mental state, for interviews or for meetings or for coaching. But I must say, the week you're doing at the Olympics, I was only there for 4 days before my race. The day of the race feels like 6 months that you're away. I forgot, like, did I send training session to this one? What did he do? Like, it felt like, yeah, and then after that, I had to go to the King in the Netherlands. I had to do stuff for the federation. There's like 3 days you have to do. So here we are a week later on Thursday, me having free time. So I did that with my niece. She came from Brazil, and we went to a little park for her. And so Friday was my first day that I could say, "Oh, I'm gonna do something for my house." So 1 week later gives you time to think. But in those 2 weeks that I swim, and then I was there 4 days, like 10 days. It felt like I was away for 6 months, and I don't remember anything that happened before. Like I
Yeah,
needed
because
to think clearly. So
everyone knows. If not, it's like I just ask people to watch your videos in your finish line. So it's obvious that you give everything when you finish. So when you won the last world champ, so yeah, I think like everyone arrived at more or less that cool walk, and you just say like, I give everything here.
yeah, and I said before, I said like because Doha, the 5K, that's where I couldn't walk. And I think I said before to my coaches, I don't care if I vomit or if I can't walk. I want to know I gave everything when I come over that finish line. Even if I'm fourth and vomiting, I want to know that I gave everything for this race. And so when I touched, I was super happy waiting for Monisha. And then I take off my cap and I start feeling the pain. Stand up, start feeling the pain. And then I think I start feeling, the emotions, and then I go into my knees. Like I can't stand. I
Mhm.
feel, and that's where I fall into and break. But and there I see it costs so much energy.
Yeah. So that's all these stories that you were explaining. They are absolutely amazing. So I remember myself. So when we met in Greece in the Oceanman final 2 years ago. So for me, like for normal people, when we see a star like you, it's like you are far, far away. I see you in the TV, I see you in the races, but then when we have the approach, so it's fantastic for me to have the privilege to meet you and to know and listen in first person all these stories that you don't know what is happening behind the scenes. So like people normally see the races, read the chronics, but we don't know what is inside. And for me it was amazing. So personally amazing, and for all the people that knows you, and we still receiving a lot of comments from the people that were with you in Greece. And now you enter in a new moment in your life, so you decided to share all these things and coach and do it. Even you told me like, I don't want to coach professional streamers, I want to be focused in amateurs. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. So the stars mixing with the humans, and and now we are going to do something like that.
Yeah, so well, I started last weekend for myself in the Netherlands. And first you think, oh, well, we just swim and I'll teach them this and this. But then I'm like, if I do something, I do it good. So I need to, I bought a sub, for an assistant. We put on a party tent. We made bread, drinks, so that we welcome everybody. I've got mats. I got sponsors to give them like trigger balls, terror bands that they can keep, and me showing how important it is to do a warming up before they swim so that they don't get injured. We do a little Q&A or like a sort of, yeah. And so I got feedback from people like, it's not a clinic. A clinic, everybody can give a clinic. You're giving master classes here.
Yeah.
And you said even you should put up your price. And those were from my clients saying I should put up the price, like you bring so much more. Um, yeah, and so what decided me, like, I don't think, because I left my parents when I was 13 to move to somebody who was a coach and to train permanently. And I feel if I would be a coach for athletes or normal athletes every day, the same people, that's what I'm already doing now. So I want to do something different and share with the world the way I see open water swimming, because I was like them. I didn't know anything about open water swimming. I thought, oh, I'll just swim in front and win. Let the best and fastest swimmer win. But it's after I won in Rio like that. But you have to have some luck as well, and you have to be a little bit, I think, younger and fresher or something. It doesn't work like that, and that's what I want to learn, because the buoy turning can be a difference. Taking somebody's energy and drafting on their head is such a big difference. When they did it with me, I was dying at the end. I couldn't make 10K. So it's all these stuff. When you swim behind each other, it's a difference. For the second person, it's doing less energy. Like, it costs less energy. That's what I did in Paris as well. When I swim in front, I control so that I don't give 100%. I only give like 75. But I'm happy just to lead if I don't get those people in my hip, which is very hard. So that's stuff I'm teaching. And also, if we would have a finish plate like that, I am still not good in timing my finish. I can tell people how to do it, but me and my finish, even if I train it 33 times, I miss it half. Like I
Yeah.
miss half is here or half I miss, or like it's so hard to time the finish. But I want to share this with people, and also like, oh, you want to have a dinner with an Olympic champ? Well, let's come, and that's what we're doing at the OCEANMAN family. And so I'm really looking forward. If they have questions, they can ask me. I'm teaching them how to warm up and how to, yeah, at least swim. Maybe we can have time to check their technique in the water, like not just technique in open water swimming, but their technique. Oh, like you're too on the side, you have to be more to the middle line. So that's all the stuff I want to do, and I want to share my experience with so many people. Because if I'm a coach, I would be a coach for 10 people for 5 years. That's not what I want. I want to see the look in the face that I had last weekend, where I said, this is the most fun for me. I said, when I take you on my hip and you just draft on my hip, you're a little bit lower, and you're going to feel that that I'm sucking you with me and I'm doing the work. And then their reaction after 20 meters was like, oh, this is great. And then I said, okay, you do it now with your friends. So I partnered them up, and then they have to try and do it. But for the other one, for me, it was much more work. So they have to try and feel it. And when you make them learn how to feel it, those people are so happy. And
Mhm.
that's what gives me a good feeling about what I'm doing myself.
So now the people has the opportunity to do it with OCEANMAN. So we have this joint venture, the OCEANMAN Camps with Sharon Van Rouwendaal. So for us, it's absolutely privileged. And just with the moment, even because it's going to be like the second camp or the second encounter, one of the first that you had after this winning. And we are going to start in Egypt. So it's going to be fantastic because we are going to be 1 week, so people can can choose between to do the camp like is 4 days to do private lessons. So this is something like you will do one by one to one, so you will coach people. So if I do it, I will have the possibility to be 1 hour with you and listening all the, and I can tell you like from all the talks that we have, like it's something that people can miss, and it's absolutely something unique to listen and hear the stories or the advice in first person. And also we are going to have like some open seasons with the kids. So you are going to motivate the new generation of open waters swimmers, and a Q&A for everyone. So this is the first, and after that we will go to Curacao.
Yeah.
Will
And
be
then
we
you
will
do
be in Cyprus, and the world
pizza,
final
Ibiza, Cyprus. Yeah. And then the final, Dubai.
in Dubai. Yes. So yeah. So what you will say to all these people? How you will motivate to participate with you?
Well, I hope they come because it's a big difference if you get coached by like a coach who's on the side. I go with you into the water and I show you how to do it. I show you how to turn a buoy, and you can like every day there's a session, and then you can do the race, and then in the race you can do everything you learn and try to make it well everything you practice for you can try to do it in your race, and you'll see. I think you'll see that you're much faster. And I hope you, yeah, if you have questions about like mental or about nutrition or about sleep or about just about my races or stuff, well, this is the opportunity to ask me all those questions, and you get to see me for 4 days, and you will have a better technique in swimming because I just it's not like you have these coaches who say, yeah, well, your right arm is not good, it goes like this and you need to go like this.
Hmm.
Well, I'll tell you how you can get your arm like this because there's some technique exercises that you can do to improve your arm like this, but there's also the dry land, that where you have a TheraBand, for example, and you just do the tricep push. Well, you have to finish the triceps push, and this is exactly what you need to feel in the water. So there's also a lot of tricks on dry land we can do to improve your technique in the water. So this is a little bit what I would
Well,
coach, and then maybe there's also like a team dinner or something. So it's the best opportunity, yeah, to be coached by me.
so that's amazing. We still having time. So first opportunity to train with you will be in September 23 in El Gouna in Egypt. So for all of these streamers that wanted to register, so you just need to go to our oceanmanstream.com website, check the place where it says like camps, and there you will find the all the details for the camp with Sharon Van Rouwendaal. And Sharon, so the only thing that I can say is thank you very much for everything, for winning, for make us enjoy the race, and for be part of the Oceanman family with these Oceanman camps. And yeah, we can wait to meet you there in September. And
Yeah, well, thank you also because I'm very happy I meet you in 2022. And it gave me also my German coach gave me a lot of insight on how to coach and what I've learned with him. And also that I want to coach because I want to help people because I saw the difference in my shoulders got when I trained in Germany by doing all those good exercises for my shoulders. Yeah, and like I said, you gave me like a little more purpose next to the swimming, so it gave me a distraction. So I'm very happy that we can make these camps finally work in start in September.
So see you there, and for all of you that you want to register and meet Sharon, like you have these opportunities. So I hope that you will enjoy the same that the Oceanman family enjoyed meeting Sharon Van Rouwendaal. So thank you very much, and see you very soon.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.